to another edition of Old Max Nuggets, a Bryan's heating and air conditioning podcast where we get on here and we talk about common questions that the homeowner might have about their heating and air conditioning. My name is Brooklyn and I am here with Bryan Nacarado, the owner and president of Bryan's Heating and Air Conditioning. How are you doing today?
Well, it's another fantastic day, Brooklyn. How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Very good. Well, what's on your mind? What can I answer for you today?
Well, don't know if you've ever been to Texas, but they always have a saying, bigger is always better. Bigger steaks, bigger toast, bigger house, whatever. Does that reign true for HVAC? Is it better to have a bigger unit than what I need?
That's a really good question. So, over the years, there have been times where you can do load calculations and determine what size of heating and cooling equipment somebody needs, and then they say, well, I want you to put in something bigger. Well, there's some problems that can come along with that, especially if we have what are called single stage units. And many years ago, all we had were single stage units. It only had, for example, the compressor and an air conditioner only had one speed. It came on and ran at that speed regardless of how much heat needed to be removed from the space. And so oversizing could be a problem because you can actually cool the space down so fast that you don't have enough run time to effectively dehumidify or remove the moisture out of the air. And what you end up with is a muggy cool. You could drive it down to 70 degrees in there, but the humidity's still high, and because of the high humidity, it feels uncomfortable. So when we have single stage equipment, whether it be a heat pump, whether it be an air conditioner, we really need to stick with the size that is required for that particular structure. Now, when we get into gas furnaces, same thing. In previous podcasts, we've talked about furnaces are rated in AFUE, percent of efficiency on annual fuel utilization efficiency. Well, in order to achieve that efficiency rating, let's say, for example, we're talking about a 96% furnace. In order to achieve that efficiency, those furnaces have to be on and running for a period of time. Kind of think about it, same thing with your car. It's cold outside, you start it up, the engine's not operating as efficiently in the beginning as it does once it warms up a little bit. Same thing with the efficiency on a gas furnace. So if we oversize a gas furnace and it comes on and only runs for a couple of minutes and shuts off, it never hit its design efficiency and will actually cost the homeowner more money to operate.
Interesting.
So we want to make sure that our sizing is correct. Now, with that said, nowadays we have multi-stage and variable speed units, whether it be gas furnaces, air conditioners, or heat pumps. And we're in a different type of a world now where I can actually put in a larger unit, but it's only going to ramp to what the demand is. In other words, the compressor is only going to run at a speed that is required to maintain the cooling in the house. Now, one of the problems you run into with oversizing is if that unit were to ramp up to its full potential, do we have a duct system? In other words, is the ductwork large enough to support it? Because you can't take a 5-ton unit and put it on a 3-ton duct system and expect it to function. You're going to have problems with it. And so, again, when we talk about a heating and air conditioning system, we're talking about the furnace. We're talking about the outdoor unit, whether it be a heat pump or a condenser. And we're also talking about our supply and return ductwork. But a lot of times nowadays, we may be able to go in and be able to make some ductwork modifications if somebody needs to bump up in size a little bit. But just to put a bigger unit in, just to say bigger is better, is not necessarily a good choice in most cases.
Okay, so stick to what the load calculations are telling us.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, math doesn't lie. You know,
My math always did.
we can make mistakes while doing the math. However, when it comes to doing the load calculations, there's a set way of going about doing it, and it's never done just off of square footage. There's a lot of other factors that come into doing load calculations. But if the load calculations say here's what we need, that's what we put in. So Brooklyn, several years ago, I was driving down the road with one of my friends, and we ran over a rabbit. And we felt really bad. We stopped the car, we get out, and here's this poor rabbit laying there. And my friend opens up his trunk, and he gets this little bottle out, and he squirts this rabbit. The next thing you know, the rabbit kind of hops up, and he takes off hopping down the road. And he kept turning around and doing this as he was walking down the road, walking away from us. And I'm like, holy cow, what was that in that bottle? And he said, well, it was hair restorer with permanent weight. Until next time, hold back out.
Oh my God.